Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now, if you are somebody who is planning to come to the UK, in today's video, we will be discussing exactly what are the two routes that you could take as an international healthcare professional to start working in the UK. And one of the biggest topics of this video is going to be talking about international recruitment and what is happening and why are people finding it hard to land jobs in the UK. So if you are somebody who is planning to come to the UK, then this video is for you. So before we dive into anything related to international recruitment and what are the routes available to you, I firstly want to share a few facts just so that we have everything out there in the clear. The first thing is that the UK healthcare sector is obviously relying quite heavily on international recruitment. And as per November 2024, there were nearly 47,537 international healthcare professionals registering through the international route under HCPC. So that is a great number right there in that year alone. Some of the most in-demand professions across the allied healthcare professions tend to be, again, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, biomedical scientists, nutritionists or dietitians, and radiographers. So these are, again, the five main professions that come under HCPC that have the most roles and vacancies out there. Now, again, one of the biggest problems highlighted by HCPC for international recruitment is that retention can be a challenge. And of the big number that I spoke to you, which is over 47,000, nearly 34.2% of internationally recruited healthcare professionals deregistered within 4 years due to factors such as job dissatisfaction, relocation, and personal reasons. So that's obviously a huge number right there in terms of people leaving the HCPC from the international route to try and find better job opportunities elsewhere or just move back to their home countries. Now that we've cleared all of that, let's talk about the two main routes available to you as an international healthcare professional. The first one is the student route and the second one is the work visa route. In terms of the student route, one of the easiest things for you to do is to come into the UK to study a healthcare related course and then try to find work. And speaking of moving to the UK, finding the right accommodation can be one of the biggest challenges for students, and this can be a really hard thing to do in the present time, especially with the rising costs of living, but also trying to find a suitable accommodation that you would prefer within your own budget. And while all of this can be super stressful, this is where Amber Students comes in. So Amber Students has a wide range of student-friendly housing options across all the major UK cities. They also have hassle-free bookings with verified listings. What is the best part is that they have affordable options near universities and public transport, and even better, they've got a 24/7 customer support for seamless assistance. So if you would like to book an accommodation with them, all you've got to do is click on the Get Personalized Guidance through the link below. Again, like I said, I'll leave the link for them in the description. So click on the Get Personalized Guidance, fill in all of your details, which includes your name, your contact number, email address, which university you're looking around. And once you've filled all of these essential details, what you've got to do is just click on submit. Now, like I said, they have a 24/7 support system in the form of customer service that will guide you through the entire process from start to finish. So do not be stressed about it. Just reach out to them if you are a student planning to come to the UK and are looking for budget-friendly, sleek options for accommodation. Now, like I said, obviously the student option was one way to come to the UK. I'm going to personally say why I preferred this route. Now, as you all know, when I came to the UK a couple of years ago to study, I did my master's in physiotherapy from UCL, which is University College London. And following that, I landed a job, no trouble. What a lot of people are having a problem with these days, though, is that once they complete their student visa, that is, they complete their university course, they go on then into a PSW visa and then struggle to land a job. My personal advice to you will be to not stress about it. So go onto your student visa, and just before you complete your university course, that is when you want to start applying for those applications for jobs in the UK, and try and land a job even before you complete your university degree. You can obviously have the start date for your job after you've completed the degree, which can be completely spoken about quite realistically with your employers. But what this tends to do is it might give you an opportunity to come to the UK, see the culture, see if it is a good fit for you, and think about if you want to be here long term. Again, this is a particularly viable route for people who are either on the younger side or for people who are slightly older and who are struggling to sort of get their entry points in the UK based on work visa alone. Now, again, I do understand that there are a lot of financial costs related to it. So again, if you do have questions about using the student route as a way to come to the UK and work as an international healthcare professional, do let me know in the comments below. And like I said, I'll make a detailed video about it. But once we obviously tackle this route, the second route is the work visa route. So now the work visa route is essentially you get your HCPC registration while you are still based in your home country, and then using your HCPC registration, you start applying for jobs on platforms such as Track Jobs website, NHS Jobs website, or any of the other platforms. Now I've again made a super detailed video about this entire topic, and there are several videos in that playlist to help you with it. If you are looking to make a job application, I'll leave the link for that somewhere above, but in the description below as well. The problem with this route, though, is recently I've had a lot of people reaching out to me who have obviously taken some one-to-one guidance from me, and they've landed interviews. But what has been happening is that a lot of these interviews are now recommending that they come face-to-face for these interviews in the UK. Now, this was not happening a couple of months ago, and a lot of the interviewers were quite happy to meet candidates virtually. However, I know from personal experience and from experiences shared by my friends that sometimes what tends to happen is that the candidate who is being interviewed can find it really hard to adapt to the cultural standards in the UK and also sort of get along with the team. And that is why a lot of recruitment in the UK is now requesting for candidates to be present face to face. Now, while this is one of the barriers, I would again say not all of them are doing it. So again, if you are called for an interview, what I would do is recommend reaching out to the interviewer and requesting them for an online or a virtual interview. Maybe you can say that you will show some form of passport, you're happy to join on whatever links or different video apps that they might find suitable for the interview. But that being said, always put it out as an option. It is again up to the discretion of the employer to offer you that option once you've requested for it. So please do not go feeling disheartened. There are very many NHS trusts all over England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. So if one or two of them do not offer you that option, do not be disheartened. On that note though, if you have been struggling with finding interviews in the UK but I've been making job applications consistently, feel free to book out a one-to-one session with me where we can go through your entire job application and give you a few recommendations based on what you need to be writing and how you need to be sort of making those job applications in a better format so that you get selected for an interview soon. So now coming in terms of updates for recruitment. Now, like I said to you, there are obviously a lot of people right now leaving the UK, especially the NHS, in terms of finding better employment opportunities either in the private sector or elsewhere abroad. And while this was lucrative for many people, obviously what that has done is that it has put a lot of more pressure on people who are already present in the system to try and cover up those gaps within job responsibilities, and it has put a lot of pressure on teams, especially in smaller areas. Now, that being said, that does mean that the vacancy rate in the NHS continues to be at an all-time high. So last time I shared a video, it was at around 10% of the vacancies in the NHS were unfulfilled, and that number still stands. It's not gone down, which just means that those vacancies are continuously popping up all over the country in the UK. So let's talk about why the international recruitment has potentially taken a bit of a backseat, even though there are these number of vacancies. So recently what has happened in the UK is that they've just realized that the cost of sponsoring an immigrant to come and work in the UK has just gone up really high. So obviously, while you know that majority of the NHS trusts in the UK are financially quite strong, quite secure, however, because of the rising costs of getting overseas candidates to fulfill some of the job vacancies over here, they are having to shell out a lot of money. Now, this goes not only in terms of getting the sponsor license, but every time they issue a candidate with a certificate of sponsorship, they are also having to pay a certain cost. Now, that being said, there are also additional costs in terms of probably relocation packages, which is not available for all jobs and all trusts, but there is an option for that. There might also be options for nurses where they obviously provide them a few fees to accommodate for their OSCE exams, trainings, etc., which again is eating up into the sort of NHS budget. So recently there was a news that said Guy's and St. Thomas, which is one of the biggest massive trusts in central London, is running on a deficit of nearly £31 million. And again, a lot of this can be related to the immigration sort of policies, because they're trying to get a lot of immigrant healthcare professionals to fulfill some of the vacancies in their trust. They are again one of the biggest sponsors of NHS jobs for international healthcare professionals. So personally, this is not surprising. So again, because of this sort of deficit, a lot of recruitment has stopped, and potentially it might come up in the future. But again, these are largely for massive nurses recruitment, so where they are recruiting quite a few bulk of nurses at the same go. But if you are a physiotherapist or any other allied healthcare professional, such as a lab technologist, a radiologist, occupational therapist, you are going to be applying solely by yourself. Please do not use agents. Many of the agencies are scams in the UK. So make sure that if you are applying from a single candidate route, your chances of still being selected are quite high, because recruitment for these professions are still going on. Now, again, like I said, if you are wondering about job opportunities and what sort of jobs are available, do not forget to check out this video, which has a list of job opportunities for different professions in it. And I think it's a definite must watch if you want to make an application to any of these roles, because most of them are closing in the month of March. So make sure you've made your job applications to them really quickly. Second reason for a slight drop in immigration over the last few months is obviously the government sort of stand and how the UK people or the local people are feeling personally. So a lot of UK people are resenting the fact that there are a lot of international healthcare professionals coming into the UK. And it's not only healthcare professionals, it's just people generally coming to the UK. And there's personally a very negative vibe about it in the country. Now, the government obviously does not feel the same, or might feel the same, but is not saying it out loud. But if they were to continue recruiting heavily from internationally trained healthcare professionals, then it also creates a bit of a bad image and a bad rep for them. So that could be another reason why the government is not taking a very strong stand in terms of supporting international immigration at this point. However, like I said, if you are applying through yourself singly for each and every job application, then that again puts you out from that sort of agency point of view. And again, many trusts might be quite happy to sponsor a one-off candidate. So again, that sort of increases your chances to landing a sponsored role in the UK. Now, just in terms of that, a lot of people have again contacted me saying they have pressing concerns about the fact that UK is probably going to ban immigration generally. And just in terms of that, I just wanted to share a few personal opinions. Again, these are personal opinions. So if the UK government had to ban international immigration, and again, even for healthcare professionals generally, what might happen is that the current vacancy rate in the UK would go up quite a bit. And that just means that the staff who are in the UK providing healthcare will not be able to meet all of the needs, and the quality of healthcare is going to deteriorate at one point or the other. Now, the easiest way to avoid that is by maintaining a smaller influx of internationally trained healthcare professionals, making sure that they are culturally adapted to the new system, have learned the different ways of working in the NHS, and that they are happy in their relocation to the UK. So I personally feel like the UK government will not completely ban international immigration of healthcare professionals in the UK, because if they did, then that would put the present systems in the UK under a lot of strain, which is not really ideal. However, that being said, it's again a personal opinion, so it might swing either way. I would say if you are somebody planning to come to the UK, there is no harm in making those job applications every single day and trying to get selected for an interview, because it just means that if you are lucky and if you get that opportunity, you are ready to grab onto it. If you don't try, you're never going to succeed. So I just wanted to end my video on that note. If you do have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Take care, guys. Bye.